year for my master's degree in social work from the University of Illinois in Chicago, and I was very excited to be done. It was going to be a good year, I thought. My research class was taught by one of my mother's best friends, so I thought I had it in there. And it was also a great opportunity in terms of field placement, because this year I had a chance for a paid field placement. And I was thinking I could use that to pay my tuition, bring down my debt. And there was a paid field placement at Chicago Public Schools right down the street from where I lived. I could walk Monday, Wednesday, and Friday to work. I was thinking, this is going to be so perfect. Well, not everything is perfect, right? The glitch in this whole plan was the supervisor. This woman had a reputation for eating her interns alive. In fact, I had talked to one of her previous students who was a friend of mine, and she had brutal stories about this woman. But I thought, I'm going to be positive about this, right? I mean, my last internship was at Cook County Hospital. I was a hospital social worker. It was great. They even offered me a job when I was done, which I turned down, but I was tempted. And I like people, right? I get along with everybody. I was living at the Catholic Worker at the time, a shelter with, people who were mentally ill in various stages of addiction, pretty devastated lives, and we all shared the same washing machine and dryer. I figured I get along with everybody, right? How hard can this be? I will convert this woman to kindness. You gotta believe in order for it to happen. Well, I was pretty naive. This was the angriest woman I've ever met in my life. She was mean, plain and simple, she was mean. One time, I don't remember a lot of it because I just blocked it, but one time I asked her right at the beginning where the staples were. I forgot where the staples were, and she picked up a box and she overhanded it to me, and she said, "Never ask me that question again." So, I did what every normal person would do. I crocheted her a blanket. And every week, I would do a few rows and I would pray for her. That's how I decided to cope with the issue. She was not to be won over. So I complained to her, I complained to the school, and I also worked my butt off because I wanted her to respect me. In the end, I think I was probably clinically depressed. But she did resign as a supervisor, so I felt like it was a win-win for everybody. I was thinking about her this week because I was thinking about the issue of authority. Because she was one of the worst examples of authority that I've ever had in my life. And I was thinking about who has authority over me now. I have a boss. My boss is the bishop. I hardly ever see the man. He's always there for me if I need him. But it isn't like he has an office down the hall for me. Most of us who are working have a boss that we have to answer to. We may like that person, we may not. But, for the most part, who has authority over us? Who has authority over me? We live in a democracy, right? We choose the people who have authority over us. And we might choose to break a law or two and submit ourselves to the authority of the police or a judge. But in general, if we don't like who has authority over us, we vote them out, right? We feel empowered. We have a say. So, who else has authority over me? I have wonderful friends, but I don't have to take their advice. They give me advice. But I don't have to take their advice if I don't want it, right? And in an intimate relationship, you want a mutual, loving, caring relationship. You don't want someone to have power over you, and you don't want to have power over someone else. My parents had authority over me for a while, and I had authority over my children for a while. But neither of those things lasted very long. And I can engage professionals, doctors and lawyers and accountants, but I can also choose not to take their advice. I don't have to if I don't want to. So who has actual authority over us? See, this is why I think that the Feast of Christ the King, which is what we celebrate today, the last Sunday of the year, I think that's why in the Episcopal Church it was made a minor feast instead of a major feast. Phil was asking me this morning, why aren't we in white? Well, because the Episcopal Church doesn't hold this as one of its major feasts. I think because we aren't into kings. We don't understand authority that way, and so it doesn't relate as well. But it is an important spiritual question, isn't it? Does Jesus have authority over me? Do I give Jesus authority over me? Do I trust Jesus enough to follow, to let him lead my life, even if I don't agree or think it's a good idea? Does Jesus have so much authority over me that I choose to follow? So Jesus as king. Jesus is not the kind of king we see in the movies, right? My kids just went to see Robin Hood this weekend. I'm going to avoid that one. But I'm sure there's great images of kingship in that movie. But Jesus in the gospel, Jesus is beaten and bloody. He is at his most vulnerable. And yet Pilate, who's questioning him, sees something in him that makes him wonder, are you a king? Are you who they say you are? And Jesus gives some flip answer that I think is pretty bold considering this guy has the power to kill him or not, right? Are you the king? And Jesus says, my kingdom does not belong to this world. The world has no power over my kingdom. My authority, Jesus says, is divine. The people who follow me are seeking truth. And if they want truth, then they will follow me into my kingdom, which is the kingdom of God. So how do we know? How do we know who has authority or who's following this authority? Who's following Jesus? How do we know? Well, by the way we lead our lives, right? The people who follow Jesus, who believe in his authority, believe in who he is and what he does, and try to be like him. Try to be humble. Try to be generous. Try to be kind. Try to find a new way. The people who follow that truth are transformed, changed by it. And we should be able to see that in ourselves and in one another. The other two readings give us encouragement. They point to Jesus and help us to understand Jesus as king. Daniel talks about his revelation. And he says, I have seen a human being who God has given all authority and who forever, eternally will be our king. John, in his revelation, tells us about Jesus who has been crucified and risen, who has been fulfilled, who is now the beginning and the end, the Alpha and the Omega, who was and is to come, who when we look upon him we see glory and power and majesty and awe, who we are not supposed to be afraid of, who brings us hope, who brings us eternal joy. That's what the kingship of Jesus is all about. So we go back to the original question. Do we give Jesus authority in our lives? And what does that mean? Do we think Jesus is a great idea when it's convenient? Or a great idea when I have time? Or do we allow those crazy things that Jesus talks about, compassion and love and sacrifice, laying down our lives, the very things he showed us? We believe that we need to follow that. Does Jesus have authority in your life?